Welcome to Rewatch First Watch, Side Star. We're again talking about Gunbuster, this time episode 4.
Hello, I'm Lumia. I'm rewatching Gunbuster.
Hello, I'm Nexus. I'm also rewatching Gunbuster.
Yes, and Nexus is our special guest. I'm KeybladeSpirit. I'm watching Gunbuster for the first time.
Ooh, I'm a guest.
Yes. And I'm just gonna start with my thoughts if that's all right.
Please do.
Yep.
Please do.
Yeah. The first thing, or my first thought, that I've kind of had for the last few episodes, but where I'm first really noticing it here, it's really cool that seemingly because this is an OVA, multiple things are happening in one episode. Which seems like a really basic thing, but it's so rare in anime nowadays.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which parts exactly did you notice?
Yeah. Well, like, for example, we got, like, a show that would have had more episodes would have had the fight with Noriko and the bully girl in, be its own separate episode, and then there would have been a lot more build up to that, and then a lot more conclusion from it to just fill out a whole episode. But instead, this does that. We get to see Fallout with Noriko's trauma involving space in the past. We get to see the discussions about that. And then it goes on to just do what I would have expected to happen in a separate episode. And I really liked that.
Yeah, what I like about Gunbuster episodes 4, 5, and 6 is that every episode feels like its own movie.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things happen. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, episode 4 is like the best episode ever in anime history, so it's pretty iconic.
Yeah, I'm basically inclined to agree.
The GAINAX pose is beautiful here. It's just
Yeah.
every time I see it I cry. every time I watch this episode.
Me too.
It's so cool.
So exciting.
Yes. Noriko's payoff of all of her character growth is so perfect here. I love her so much.
Yes, it's the most important moment in anime history as well.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about your Dragon Ball Z's and your Gohan turning Super Saiyan 2. That's baby shit. This is the real thing. This is the drug we all looking for.
Yeah, and that one, like the frame that we're gonna use as the thumbnail was incredible.
Yes.
Yes, I'm even without having seen it, Nexus. I'm sure you know what frame we mean.
Of course, I know.
Yeah.
It's the most amazing frame in anime history ever.
It's so good.
As well.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's not only that, it also has the best soundtrack in anime history ever.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The music's so intense in this episode.
Yes, every track is amazing.
Yeah.
I do listen to the soundtrack quite often.
This guy, Kohei Tanaka, did an amazing job with the soundtrack.
Yeah. Like especially the song, I think, when Noriko is in the Gunbuster and she catches the big bug thing. I don't remember a lot of the terminology, but when she catches that, I love how everything leading up to it makes that song a lot more hype than I would have parsed it if I just listened to it by itself.
Oh yeah, everything is perfect. Like the animation, the storyboard, the music, the performance of the voice actress, which is also called Noriko. I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah, her name is Noriko
weird.
as well.
I wonder if that's a coincidence.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
Okay.
I do not have much knowledge of this stuff, but I know she's also called Noriko.
I did not know that.
Noriko Hidaka. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I was about to pull it up.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
I just love how Gunbuster moves and the minute that he's doing things in this episode. It has so much weight to everything he does. The mech.
Yeah.
I just oh,
It feels like a gigantic robot, like realistically speaking.
Yeah.
And you don't get that a lot of the time, even in the best Gundam scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even before we get to really see the scale where the Gunbuster is holding another one of the mechs in its hand. You guys are right. It really feels like a much bigger mech than the other ones. Just
You know,
in the way
there's
it
one
moves.
in that particular moment. There's one tiny detail I really like because it's not necessary at all, but they did it anyways. Because it's when the Onesama robot, it's in the Gunbuster hand, right? The Gunbuster opens its hand, and it's not necessary, but they do it anyways. It's like when the Gunbuster opens its hand, you can see like the circuits and the robotic stuff in the palm of the hand, just for
Yeah.
a few frames before Onesama, places her robot in the hand. It's really cool. It's not necessary. It's a really stupid thing to do, like overworking yourself as an animator, but they did it anyway, and that's amazing.
Yeah. I love a lot of the little details like that. There's also, at one point, we see a frame of inside the Gunbuster, and we see this one little meter-looking thing that says inertial canceller on it, or inertial cancellation. That was a detail that I really appreciated, because it's sort of introducing this. I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's something you often see in Evangelion. Like, it's Hideaki Anno is doing the storyboards for this episode. I think he does the storyboards for every episode, but still, he likes those tiny sci-fi details
Yeah.
that in the end it matter because it feels more realistic in some way.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't parse to me as an Anoism, but that does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Get on him.
Yeah. Another.
Can-
Yeah.
You
Another.
can like see Hideaki Anno's style in this episode. Like it is already like taking the form that he's gonna have like in Evangelion. Like there's a lot of his usual, I don't know, transitions and photography stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
There was this one great visual gag that Lumia and I noticed while we were watching. We had to go back and look at it to make sure that's what was happening. And it immediately reminded me of a similar gag from Evangelion, where when Noriko is talking to the General and Ota on her screens, there's on the General's screen you can see Ota in the background looking at his own screen.
oh really?
And, yeah. But then when the General turns to look at Ota incredulously, he turns and looks at the screen as though he's looking through Noriko's monitor at Ota. And that immediately reminded me of a very similar thing that happened in Evangelion, where Asuka and Shinji are talking on the screens in their Evas, and
Oh yeah.
and Asuka physically
remember
comes
that.
out to hit him through his
But
screen.
I didn't know this detail. I'm looking. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah. And
You can see little Oda in the background.
That's really cool.
yeah, these are the details that I love.
It was a beautiful moment. I had to. I was still crying at the time because that was right around when Gunbuster was shown for the first time, so
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Oh, such a nice tiny detail. So this is why it's nice to rewatch this kind of shows, because there's always something new you discover.
Yeah.
Good old GAINAX.
Yeah.
I miss them.
I miss them too.
Yeah. I'm interested in watching their other work and seeing if that one gag that I mentioned is actually like a GAINAX staple, or if that was specifically an Anno thing.
I'm now tempted to rewatch Nadia. See.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that one yet.
Nadia is good except for like 13 episodes, except for the island arc, which is shit.
Yeah.
But
and that's the only
overall
arc.
show is.
I recalled that that's the only arc that Anno didn't work on.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But
I've seen most of the early GAINAX shows.
Yeah. I haven't seen Nadia, so that would be
I
good
like
one to
Nadia.
take a look at.
It's really pretty. It's got a cool aesthetic the entire time. The weird sci-fi stuff they come up with in Nadia. It's just fun and entertaining.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, like, to look for this sort of gag in Diebuster.
I will keep an eye out when we watch Diebuster.
Yeah, we're definitely going to take a look at that.
I haven't rewatched
That's
Diebuster
cool.
in forever, so this will be fun. That'll be fun for me. I've only seen Diebuster once.
I rewatched it again, Gunbuster and Diebuster last year, so it's pretty fresh in my mind right now. But not that fresh to realize these sort of details.
Yeah.
Which do you prefer more, Nexus? Diebuster or
Gunbuster.
Diebuster? Hey,
Gunbuster is my favorite.
my man.
Yeah.
That's
But I
two
do
for
like
Diebuster.
both of them. I really like both of them.
Yeah. Also, toward the end of this episode, one thing... No, it wasn't toward the end. Like, during this episode, one thing that I appreciated was that when the girls are all talking about going back to Earth, we're sort of seeing a little bit of foreshadowing of what the actual implications of the time dilation stuff will be. Because they're talking...
Right.
They're talking about it as though they're thinking, I wonder how things have changed.
Yeah.
They also dropped the year, which was 2032 when they arrived back home.
Oh, okay.
And I think they left in 2027, I want to say.
Okay.
I think it's been like a good 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an interesting small detail for world building, which is something I love.
Yeah, and that was something we talked about a little bit in the last episode, too. There was, with the, with the girls, like, with the girls telling ghost stories about subspace, specifically. I really appreciated
Right.
that.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is Gunbuster so good?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's old.
Oh yeah, right. All is good.
Old, good, new, bad.
That's the new norm.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
It's such. I mean, it's such an iconic show. It's like Gundam did this in 1979, I guess.
Yes. That was when the first Gundam came out.
It was like just a 10-year period before mega genre changes again with Gunbuster.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like, one of those shows that is being usually references in like other anime or media. Pretty much like, I don't know, Ashton Joe, that sort of stuff, or Gundam itself. You can see like Inazuma King
Yeah.
in a lot of shows.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen Ashita no Joe.
You should read it.
Read it. Okay.
Yes, please.
I will take the Nexus recommendation. You haven't strayed me wrong yet.
And then you should, after reading Joel, you should rewatch Gurren Lagann and find the enormous amount of references to Ashton and Joe's manga and anime. Because there's a lot.
Why not? I've been meaning to rewatch it after watching Get a Robo Armageddon.
Fantastic.
Which has a lot... seems to have a lot of references to... Or not references, but seems... Gurren Lagann seems to pay homage to it to some degree, so... Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Is it long? Ashita no Joe?
I guess it's like around 20 volumes.
Okay, I can do that.
But it's really easy to read. So I remember being on a friend's birthday, and I was really bored because they started playing Smash, and I'm really bad at it. So I went to the computer and looked for a manga to read, and I discovered this site that had Ashton and Joe. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. And in like 2 hours, I was at chapters 70, I guess.
Oh.
So it's really fun to read, and it's really easy, and you don't notice how time passes by.
I've seen the first 4 episodes of the anime, and I enjoyed it. I just got busy.
Now, the anime is really interesting and cool, but I honestly prefer the manga.
Well, aren't you a manga boy?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Why not? I'll read it. That sounds far easier than watching a 50-episode anime.
Oh, this
actually 70 something.
70 episodes? Oh god, I've never finished it.
And also the second season.
Well,
which
this
is 40 something.
Well, this has been our digression for the episode. Go watch and/or read Ashita no Joe.
Yes, that's the conclusion.
Yes, that's the conclusion to this episode of our Gunbuster podcast. I've been the first watcher, KeybladeSpirit.
I've been Lumia.
And I've been Nexus. I guess.
All of you should go read Bunny Wave.
Yeah, read
also,
Bunny Wave.
yes. And any other comic that Nexus posts.
And
especially Rocket Punch.
Yes.
Yes, please do.
Read Rocketto Punchy.
Link in the description.
Yes, link in the description.
Also, watch Gunbuster because it's really good.
Oh yeah, I guess you can do that.